For our musical devotional this week, Mary recorded the song, His Eye is on the Sparrow. And this hymn is inspired by what Jesus says in the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke, that God, watches over every sparrow in the air. And in the same way that God watches over us, to the point where even the hairs on our head are numbered by God. That's how well God knows us and watches over us. The backstory behind this hymn is that the woman who wrote this hymn, Sevilla Martin, she and her husband were spending time with another couple, Mr. and Mrs. Doolittle, and Mrs. Doolittle had been bedridden for 20 years. Mr. Doolittle was in a wheelchair and was, had difficulties back then getting around, to do his, to run his business, and yet Miss Martin and her husband realized that the Doolittles were very cheerful and hopeful and upbeat, and her husband asked about that, and Mrs. Doolittle responded, "His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me." And that was the inspiration for this hymn, a reminder that God watches over the sparrows and God watches over us even more closely. We are watched over, we are beloved by God. And this hymn is a reminder of that. Maybe during this time, that's a good reminder for you this week. God watches over you even more closely than all the sparrows in the air.